Ladies and gentlemen, it is a profound honor to stand before you today to share a truth that has shaped my life, my work, and my understanding of what it means to truly achieve greatness. That truth is simple, yet powerful. Work hard in silence, and let your success be your noise. In a world that celebrates the loudest voices and the most visible achievements, it is easy to forget that the most lasting and significant successes are often created in the quietest moments. Greatness is not announced by the applause of others, but by the weight of your work, the strength of your character, and the impact you leave on the world. Far too often we find ourselves distracted by the pursuit of recognition, the desire for praise, and the longing for validation. We seek the spotlight, and in doing so we lose sight of the reason we started our journey in the first place. True greatness does not come from what others think of you, but from what you consistently do when no one is watching. It is in the quiet, unseen moments of dedication where the seeds of greatness are planted and nurtured. Consider the life of a master craftsman. His work is his statement. He doesn't need to shout about the quality of his craftsmanship or demand attention. He knows that when his work is finished, when his creation is revealed, it will speak for itself. Excellence cannot be hidden for long. It will stand out not because it seeks attention, but because it is undeniable. This leads me to the second truth. Discipline is the key to lasting success, not fame. Many chase after the fleeting joys of popularity or quick rewards, but true fulfillment comes from consistent, disciplined effort. It's the quiet dedication, day in and day out, that compounds and creates lasting results. In the silence of your work, you build your integrity. Character is forged in moments of solitude, in those times when you are working without an audience. It's easy to behave when the world is watching, but integrity is proven when no one is looking. But let us not be mistaken, this path is not always easy. It requires patience, resilience, and a deep belief in the process. Success does not happen overnight, and the road to greatness is often long and winding. There will be times when doubt creeps in, when others may seem to advance faster than you, or when your progress feels slow. But remember this, the quiet, consistent effort will always outlast the rush to the top. I urge you to focus on your purpose, not on the applause. When you are driven by a sense of purpose, the results will naturally follow. Do not seek validation from the outside world, because the work you do in silence will be your greatest validation. As you continue on your journey, avoid the distractions of comparison. Each person has their own path, their own time, and their own story. The moment you begin to compare yourself to others, you dilute the power of your unique potential. Your work is not a race against others, it is a race against yourself to improve, to evolve, and to elevate your own standard of excellence. And let us not forget, the foundation of greatness is often laid in the unseen hours. When others are sleeping, when the world is quiet, that is when you should be working on building your foundation. Those late nights, those early mornings, those quiet hours when you push through despite the challenges, that is where greatness is born. Know this impact comes not through noise, but through excellence. The louder your excellence speaks, the less you need to say. Your actions will speak volumes and your results will make the noise. Let your work become your testimony, and let your success be the message that others hear. Remember, you are not in competition with the world. You are in competition with the best version of yourself. So work hard in silence. Let your success be the loudest sound the world hears. The power of quiet dedication lies in its ability to shape outcomes without the need for validation or recognition. When you dedicate yourself to a cause or a goal in silence, you create a force that operates beneath the surface, often unnoticed by those around you, yet powerful enough to drive profound change. Unlike those who chase after attention or celebrate the journey through public acknowledgement, those who work quietly are building something far deeper, something that is grounded in their commitment, their vision, and their unshakable belief in the process. In the silence of your labor, you cultivate discipline, focus, and resilience, qualities that do not demand applause, but rather reward those who are patient enough to endure. While others may be distracted by the noise of the world, your quiet dedication allows you to remain true to your purpose. And it is in this focused, undistracted state that you find the space to grow, to refine your craft, and to make progress, step by step. The true power of quiet dedication is not in immediate results, but in its ability to transform persistence into progress, one action at a time. It's an ongoing process of building, learning, and evolving, often without the need for acknowledgement in the moment. And though the world may not always notice the work you put in during the quiet times, over time, the results will be undeniable. While others may celebrate their small victories loudly, your quiet dedication allows you to build something that is not easily shaken. It may take years, even decades, for others to fully recognize the depth of your efforts, but what is created in silence is often lasting, stable, and unassailable because it was nurtured in a place of pure intention and steadfast focus. The power of quiet dedication lies not just in the results you produce, but in the character you develop and the legacy you leave, built on the strength of your silent, unyielding commitment. Seeking external validation can be one of the most subtle and insidious distractions on the path to true fulfillment. In a world that constantly bombards us with messages to prove our worth through likes, comments, shares, and praise, it's easy to lose sight of our own purpose and to base our sense of value on the fleeting opinions of others. When we seek validation from the outside, we place our self-worth in the hands of others, giving them the power to dictate how we feel about ourselves, how we measure success, and even what we believe is possible for our lives. External validation can become an addiction. It's like chasing a moving target every time you receive praise or recognition. It feels good in the moment, but it never lasts. The feeling of accomplishment fades, and you find yourself needing more, seeking it from new people or in new ways. This cycle can be emotionally draining and can lead to a sense of emptiness because it's built on a foundation that is constantly shifting. You may even begin to make choices based on what you think will garner the most approval or admiration, rather than what aligns with your true purpose or values. This can take you off course, leading you to follow paths that don't truly fulfill you or bring you happiness. The danger of external validation lies in how it distorts your internal compass. When you're constantly looking to others to define your success or worth, you stop listening to your own inner voice. You may even lose touch with what you genuinely want or believe in, because your decisions are filtered through the lens of what others will think. This can create a disconnect between who you are and who you're trying to project yourself to be, leading to internal conflict and dissatisfaction. External validation can make you vulnerable to the whims and opinions of others who are often not aligned with your vision or your journey. The world is full of critics, doubters, and people who may not understand your goals or your methods. When you base your worth on their approval, you risk allowing their negativity, jealousy, or misunderstanding to derail you. You may begin to doubt yourself, change your approach, or abandon your plans altogether, not because they aren't right for you, but because others don't see them the same way. In the end, the pursuit of external validation often robs us of the opportunity to cultivate our own sense of self-confidence, resilience, and purpose. True fulfillment comes from within, from knowing that you are on the right path, that your work has meaning, and that your efforts, whether recognized by others or not, have intrinsic value. The moment you let go of the need for approval from the outside is the moment you take full ownership of your journey. When you stop seeking validation, you free yourself from the chains that hold you back and empower yourself to create a life that is truly your own, one that is guided by your inner values and vision, not by the fleeting opinions of others. Discipline is the foundation upon which true success is built. Yet in a world that often equates fame with achievement, the pursuit of recognition can easily overshadow the quiet, consistent efforts required to reach lasting greatness. The desire for fame is an alluring temptation. It promises instant validation, external admiration, and a sense of importance in the eyes of others. But fame is a fleeting illusion, often built on a foundation of surface-level accomplishments or the transient nature of trends. It is the hunger for attention, applause, or praise, and the moment it's satisfied, it quickly fades, leaving a void behind. Discipline, on the other hand, is unwavering and eternal. It doesn't rely on the whims of others or the accolades of the moment. Instead, it is a commitment to continual growth, to doing the work even when the spotlight is dim, and to staying the course even when no one is watching. True success does not come from the pursuit of fame, but from the discipline to keep moving forward even when it seems like no one notices. Fame can be a distraction, pulling you away from your purpose, leading you to seek validation in all the wrong places. It encourages shortcuts, the search for the quickest road to recognition, instead of the steady, consistent effort required to truly master something and to build something of lasting value. Discipline, however, demands that you stay focused on the process, that you take deliberate, consistent action toward your goals, regardless of whether or not the world acknowledges your efforts. Fame often comes in flashes, quick bursts of recognition that can just as easily burn out. But discipline builds slowly, often in the quiet moments of everyday effort that most people overlook. It requires sacrifice, focus, and a deep understanding that success is not an event but a journey. Fame might arrive suddenly, but discipline requires you to wake up each day with purpose, to show up, to push through the challenges, to refine your craft, and to grow into the person you are meant to be. The rewards of fame are external, but the rewards of discipline are internal and enduring. When you choose discipline over the desire for fame, you choose a path that is not dictated by the opinions of others, but by your own standards and your own vision. You allow your actions to speak louder than your words, your results to outshine the fleeting applause. Discipline means trusting the process, even when immediate results are not visible. It means sticking to your principles, following through on your commitments, and refining your skills, knowing that this will lead to something far greater than the temporary satisfaction that fame offers. The discipline to work with excellence without seeking the approval or recognition of others cultivates something far more valuable: respect. Respect is earned over time not by shouting for attention, but by consistently showing up, doing the hard work, and delivering value. Discipline allows you to create a lasting legacy that transcends fame, something that endures long after the applause fades. When you choose discipline over the desire for fame, you're not just working towards success in the conventional sense. You're building a life and a career that are truly aligned with your deepest purpose. You're focusing on the things that matter most: the mastery of your craft, the quality of your work, the integrity of your character. And in the end, it is this quiet, determined pursuit that will lead to a fulfillment far greater than anything fame could ever provide. Personal integrity is the bedrock upon which all true success is built. It is the unwavering commitment to honor your values, to stay true to your word, and to do what is right even when no one is watching. In a world that often rewards shortcuts, dishonesty, and compromise, integrity stands as a rare and invaluable quality, one that cannot be bought, faked, or quickly acquired. It is a reflection of your character, a measure of your authenticity, and the cornerstone of trust in all relationships, whether personal or professional. Integrity shapes how you are perceived by others, but more importantly, it shapes how you perceive yourself. It is the quiet strength that guides you through moments of temptation, discouragement, or challenge, knowing that true success comes not from what you accomplish, but from how you accomplish it. The value of integrity goes beyond simply doing the right thing. It's about aligning your actions with your deepest beliefs and values. It means you don't compromise on your standards when it's inconvenient or when the world around you is tempting you to bend the rules. Integrity is what allows you to look yourself in the mirror each morning and know that, regardless of external outcomes, you are living in accordance with your truth. It's about making decisions that reflect who you are at your core, not who the world wants you to be or who you think others expect you to be. When you operate with integrity, you build a foundation of trust that cannot be easily shaken. People may forget your accomplishments, but they will never forget how you made them feel, how you treated them, and whether or not you were true to your word. Integrity isn't something you display only when it benefits you. It's something you live by every day. In every interaction, regardless of how small or insignificant it may seem. It's the commitment to being honest, even when the truth is hard to speak, to taking responsibility, even when it's easier to blame others, and to remaining consistent in your principles, regardless of the circumstances. One of the greatest gifts that integrity offers is peace of mind. When you act in alignment with your values, you eliminate the internal conflict that arises from dishonesty or inconsistency. You no longer have to fear the repercussions of getting caught in a lie or the weight of having to cover up your actions. The integrity you build becomes an armor that shields you from the turmoil that comes with self-deception or compromise. It gives you the confidence to move forward in life with clarity and conviction, knowing that no matter what challenges arise, you can face them with a clear conscience. Integrity builds lasting relationships. In business, in friendships, in family, and in every aspect of life, people are drawn to those who stand by their word, who do what they say, and who follow through on their promises. Real trust is the foundation of all meaningful connections, and integrity is the key to building and maintaining that trust. When you demonstrate integrity, you become someone others can rely on, someone who holds their word sacred, and someone who operates with fairness and honesty. This trust opens doors, strengthens bonds, and creates opportunities that are built on the solid foundation of respect and credibility. The value of integrity is also evident in the way it shapes your long-term success. Quick wins, achieved through manipulation or dishonesty, are often short-lived. They can bring temporary rewards but leave behind a trail of damaged relationships, lost trust, and missed opportunities. Integrity, on the other hand, may not always bring immediate recognition or quick results, but it builds something far more enduring, a reputation of reliability, respect, and authenticity. This reputation over time becomes an invaluable asset that will serve you far beyond any fleeting success or momentary achievement. It attracts the right people into your life, people who value you for who you truly are, and not for what you can offer them in the moment. It leads to opportunities that are aligned with your values, and it positions you for sustained, meaningful success in whatever path you choose to pursue. In the end, integrity is not just a personal virtue, it's a powerful force that ripples outward, influencing those around you, shaping your environment, and leaving a lasting legacy. It is a silent strength, a quiet assurance that you are living in alignment with your true self. And it is the one thing that cannot be taken away from you. When you choose integrity, you choose to build something far greater than wealth, fame, or temporary success. You choose to build a life that is rich in character, trust, and meaning, one that will stand the test of time and inspire others to follow the same path. Consistency is the invisible force that drives success over time. It's not the bursts of effort or the moments of brilliance that define the path to greatness, but the daily, persistent actions that compound and create lasting change. The results you see in your life are not the product of a single monumental effort, but of countless small choices, made day after day, with unwavering focus and commitment. While it's easy to be inspired in a moment and take action, it's the ability to keep going, even when the excitement fades, that separates those who achieve their goals from those who fall short. Success doesn't come from occasional moments of intensity or fleeting bursts of motivation. It comes from showing up day in and day out, even when you don't feel like it, even when you don't feel like it, even when the results aren't immediate, and even when there is no applause to encourage you. Consistency requires discipline, the kind of discipline that keeps you focused on the long-term vision despite the distractions or the challenges that may arise. It's about making incremental progress, no matter how small, knowing that every step forward is bringing you closer to your goal. Many people start strong, fueled by inspiration or ambition, but it's easy to lose momentum when the immediate rewards don't match the effort you've put in. The truth is that great results often take time to materialize. The key is to keep going even when you can't see the fruits of your labor right away. Those who are consistent in their efforts trust that the work they are putting in is building something valuable, even if it's not immediately visible to the outside world. They know that it's the consistency of their actions repeated over time that will eventually lead to breakthrough moments. The beauty of consistency lies in its cumulative effect. Small, steady actions add up. The compound effect of consistent effort in any area, whether it's learning a new skill, building a business, or improving your health, becomes powerful over time. A single day's work may seem insignificant in isolation, but when added together, the impact of consistent effort is monumental. Think of a small stream that over years carves through rock. The water's power lies not in its force, but in its persistence. Similarly, the consistent effort you put into your endeavors, no matter how small, has the power to carve through the obstacles and resistance you may face, slowly but surely. Consistency also builds momentum. In the early stages of any pursuit, the results may seem minimal. But as you continue, those small steps begin to gain traction. What once felt like an uphill battle now starts to feel easier. And you find that the effort is yielding rewards, often in ways that were not immediately apparent. Momentum is a force that can carry you forward, propelling you towards success, but only if you've done the hard work of building it with consistency. Without it, you risk stalling out, losing the drive and determination needed to keep moving forward. Consistency also fosters mastery. Mastery isn't achieved in a day or a week. It is the result of continual practice, refining your craft over time, and making deliberate, thoughtful improvements with each effort. The path to mastery requires a commitment to repetition and patience. Those who are consistent in their practice are the ones who over time develop expertise and distinction in their field. Excellence doesn't happen overnight, and it doesn't happen by chance. It's the result of consistently pushing past mediocrity, refining your skills, and refusing to settle for less than your best. Consistency helps to build resilience. Life is full of ups and downs, and there will always be times when things get difficult or discouraging. In those moments, consistency can serve as an anchor, keeping you grounded and reminding you that progress is still being made, even when things aren't going perfectly. When you stay consistent, you learn to persevere through adversity and to trust in the process, knowing that the efforts you make today are laying the groundwork for success in the future. Consistency builds a mental toughness that can withstand the inevitable setbacks and challenges you will face along the way. Consistency is about developing a mindset that values progress over perfection, process over outcomes. It's understanding that success is not a destination, but a journey, a series of small, deliberate steps that lead you forward, even when the path seems unclear. In the world of instant gratification and overnight success stories, consistency is often overlooked. But it's the quiet, steadfast commitment to doing the work day after day that makes the difference between temporary success and lasting achievement. Whether the world sees it or not, consistency is the key to unlocking the full potential of your efforts, transforming ordinary actions into extraordinary results. Patience in the process is one of the most underrated virtues in today's fast-paced, results-driven world. In a society that celebrates instant gratification and quick fixes, we often forget that the most worthwhile achievements take time to materialize. The desire for immediate results can cloud our judgment and lead us to abandon long-term projects before they have had a chance to fully develop. But patience, however, teaches us that success is not a sprint, but a marathon, one that requires endurance, faith, and a steady belief in the value of the journey itself, regardless of how long it may take. Many of us embark on new endeavors with great enthusiasm and excitement. The initial stages are filled with energy and optimism as we envision the end result. But the excitement can quickly fade when progress feels slow, when obstacles appear, or when we face the inevitable frustrations that come with pursuing something meaningful. This is when patience becomes crucial. It is in these moments when the results aren't immediate that the true test of your commitment lies. Without patience, we are tempted to abandon the process, jump to shortcuts, or seek external validation in an attempt to feel better about the lack of visible progress. But it's in these moments of quiet perseverance that the seeds of lasting success are sown. The process of growth, whether personal, professional, or creative, requires time to unfold. It cannot be rushed. Just as a plant needs time to sprout, root, and eventually bloom, so too do our endeavors need space to develop and mature. There is a natural rhythm to growth that cannot be accelerated. Each stage of the process is essential, and skipping ahead can rob us of the lessons, experiences, and insights that come from patiently navigating the journey. These lessons are what shape us into who we are becoming, and without them, we risk missing the very essence of what it means to achieve something meaningful. Patience also cultivates resilience. When we face setbacks, delays, or failures, it's easy to become discouraged or frustrated. However, patience teaches us to see these challenges not as roadblocks, but as opportunities to learn, grow, and refine our approach. Every failure, every misstep, every moment of doubt is a part of the process, not something to be avoided. If we give up too soon or try to bypass the difficult phases, we miss out on the growth that occurs during those hard times. Patience helps us endure the tough moments, trusting that they are leading us to something greater than we can see in the present. One of the most powerful aspects of patience is that it allows us to trust in the process itself. This trust is not passive, it's an active belief that even though we don't have all the answers or know when the breakthrough will come, the work we are putting in matters. We trust that every effort, no matter how small or seemingly insignificant, is moving us closer to our goal. When we trust the process, we stop worrying about the outcome and focus on the present moment, the actions we can take right now. Patience teaches us to stay grounded in the present, to give our best to each task, knowing that we are laying the foundation for something bigger. The beauty of patience is that it allows us to enjoy the process itself, not just the end result. When we are too focused on the destination, we often miss out on the richness of the journey. Patience enables us to embrace the learning curve, to savor the small wins, and to find joy in the act of creation, improvement, and progress. It reminds us that the process itself is where the transformation happens. The destination is important, but it's the journey that shapes us, that molds us into the person who can handle the success we seek. Patience also gives us the grace to accept that the timeline for our goals may not unfold according to our expectations. We often set out with a clear vision of when and how we want things to happen, only to be confronted with the reality that timing is not always in our control. In these moments, patience helps us release our attachment to a specific timeline and instead focus on what we can control: our effort, our attitude, and our ability to continue working, even when things don't go according to plan. It teaches us to remain flexible, to adapt to changing circumstances, and to trust that everything is unfolding as it should according to a bigger picture that we may not yet fully understand. True success is not determined by how quickly we can achieve our goals, but by how deeply we've committed to the process of growth. Patience reminds us that the path to excellence is rarely linear. It's filled with setbacks, mistakes, and moments of doubt, but each of these is an essential part of the process. When we have the patience to navigate the process, we build not only the success we desire, but the character and wisdom needed to sustain it. Success achieved without patience is fragile. Success built with patience is unshakable. It is rooted in a foundation of resilience, trust, and faith in the long-term process. Patience teaches us to endure, to trust the unfolding of our journey, and to remain focused on the work, knowing that the results will come in their own time. When you focus on purpose, you anchor your actions in something deeper than external recognition or fleeting applause. The pursuit of praise, while satisfying in the moment, is an unreliable motivator. It can come and go dependent on the approval of others, and often distracts from the true essence of your work. Praise, no matter how well deserved, is a byproduct, not the goal. But purpose, the driving force behind your efforts, has a timeless, intrinsic power. When you are rooted in purpose, you act from a place of meaning and passion, not from a desire for acknowledgement. This shift in mindset not only keeps you grounded, but also leads to more authentic, fulfilling achievements. The desire for praise can be consuming. It pulls your focus away from the core of what you are doing and onto how others perceive you. Seeking external validation can create a sense of inadequacy or self-doubt when the recognition doesn't come or when it is delayed. This external focus can distort your path, leading you to take actions that serve to impress others rather than serve the true purpose of your work. In contrast, when your focus is on purpose, the external noise fades away. You become less concerned with how you are seen and more focused on why you are doing what you are doing. Your energy is channeled into creating value, solving problems, or contributing to a cause without the need for immediate recognition. Purpose is the fuel that sustains your efforts, even when challenges arise or when the journey seems long and arduous. It helps you persevere through the difficult times, when the results aren't visible, or when the world may not yet appreciate the work you are doing. If your work is driven by the pursuit of praise, you may give up too soon when things don't turn out as expected. But purpose provides the resilience needed to continue, even when the reward seems distant or when others don't yet see the significance of your contributions. It reminds you that the journey is as important as the destination, and that the value of your work is not defined by the applause you receive, but by the positive impact it creates, whether or not anyone notices in the moment. When you work with purpose, the external world becomes secondary to the internal satisfaction that comes from knowing you are making a difference. Your actions are guided by a commitment to something greater than recognition. The need for praise becomes irrelevant because the work itself is enough. This internal alignment leads to a deeper sense of fulfillment and a more sustainable kind of success. The focus on purpose brings clarity and direction, helping you stay aligned with your core values even in the face of distractions or setbacks. It allows you to remain true to your vision and to the impact you want to have, rather than getting caught up in the rush to impress others or to achieve superficial milestones. One of the greatest freedoms in focusing on purpose rather than praise is the freedom to fail without fear. When praise is your goal, failure feels like a personal loss because it affects how you are perceived. But when your focus is on purpose, failure becomes just another step in the learning process, a necessary part of growth. It allows you to take risks, to experiment, and to innovate without the weight of external expectations. You can redefine what success means to you and pursue it on your own terms, knowing that the value of your work is measured by its contribution, not by the applause it generates. Working from purpose aligns you with a deeper sense of authenticity. People are drawn to those who act with integrity and passion, not those who are constantly seeking approval or validation. When you focus on purpose, you become less concerned with fitting into someone else's idea of success and more committed to living up to your own potential. This authenticity attracts the right people, those who appreciate your mission, who align with your values, and who are inspired by your genuine passion. When you work for purpose, you attract opportunities that are more meaningful and fulfilling, because your actions are rooted in a vision that resonates with those who share your mission. The pursuit of praise can often lead to a shallow, external measure of success, one that fades away as quickly as it arrives. But purpose endures. It keeps you connected to the work, to the impact, and to the larger vision of what you are trying to accomplish. It isn't dependent on the whims of others, and it doesn't require constant reinforcement. It simply is. When you are driven by purpose, you can weather the inevitable ups and downs with a sense of inner peace, because you know that the value of what you're doing is not contingent on how many people acknowledge it. You are creating something meaningful, and that is enough. When your purpose is clear, it shapes your decisions, guides your actions, and helps you stay the course, regardless of the recognition you receive. It's about knowing that your work has value, even if no one is applauding in the moment. It's about the joy of doing something that matters, of knowing you are contributing to something bigger than yourself. The rewards of purpose are far more enduring than the fleeting satisfaction of praise, because they come from within. They come from knowing that you are on the right path, that your efforts are aligned with your deepest values, and that ultimately your work will have a lasting impact, regardless of whether anyone notices today. Building your foundation in privacy is a powerful and often overlooked principle in the pursuit of success. In a world where everything is constantly on display and where personal lives are increasingly shared in public spaces, there is immense value in developing your life, your work, and your goals in a private, protected space. The quiet, intentional work that happens behind the scenes often creates the strongest, most sustainable foundations for success. Privacy provides the clarity and focus needed to build something meaningful, free from the noise of external opinions, distractions, or comparisons. It allows you to nurture your ideas, refine your skills, and build your confidence in an environment that is not influenced by others' judgments or expectations. When you choose to work in privacy, you take control of your own narrative. You are not rushed to share your progress before it is fully formed, nor do you risk exposing yourself to unsolicited advice, criticism, or even envy from others. The early stages of any venture, whether personal growth, business development, or creative work, require space to evolve. Privacy protects this space, allowing your ideas to mature organically without the pressure of having to meet external standards or gain validation too soon. Just as a seed requires time and the right conditions to grow before it breaks through the soil, your dreams and aspirations need time to solidify before they are exposed to the world. In the privacy of your work, you are free to make mistakes, to experiment, and to learn without fear of failure becoming public. This process of trial and error is essential to growth. When you are constantly seeking approval or attention, the fear of being judged or criticized can stifle creativity and make you more cautious than you should be. Working in privacy removes this external pressure, allowing you to take risks and be more bold with your decisions. The best innovations, the most powerful breakthroughs, and the deepest personal transformations often occur in the quiet, Undisturbed moments when you are not concerned with how others perceive you or your work. Privacy also helps you cultivate the discipline required to succeed. When no one is watching, it becomes easier to remain consistent and dedicated to the process. Without the temptation of external distractions or the need to show off your progress to others, you can stay focused on your own journey and the tasks that matter most. This kind of focused work done over time is what creates mastery and long-lasting success. The ability to build quietly, to put in the work without expecting immediate recognition or rewards, is what separates those who achieve their goals from those who fall by the wayside. Another advantage of building in privacy is that it gives you the room to think and to plan strategically without being influenced by the opinions of others. It allows you to focus on your own instincts, your own vision, and your own timeline. When you are too focused on what others are doing or what others think of your progress, it can cloud your judgment and distract you from the path you are meant to take. Privacy allows you to align your decisions with your own values and to stay true to your own goals without being swayed by external pressures or trends. It creates the space to develop a clear sense of direction and purpose. Privacy creates a sense of safety around your ideas and dreams. Not everything you create or imagine is ready to be shared with the world, and premature exposure can expose you to criticism or even sabotage. People who are not aligned with your vision may try to undermine you either intentionally or unintentionally because they don't understand your journey or your goals. In the early stages of building anything, whether a business, a career, or a personal project, there is a fragility to the process. By keeping things private until you have built a solid foundation, you protect your vision from unnecessary harm and create the space to grow with confidence. Building your foundation in privacy also gives you the opportunity to preserve your energy. Constantly sharing your progress with others, seeking validation, or chasing the opinions of people who do not understand your vision can drain your resources both mentally and emotionally. By working quietly, you are conserving your energy for what truly matters, the work itself. You can pour all your focus and effort into the project rather than dividing your attention between external demands and internal growth. This energy preservation is essential to maintain momentum over the long term and to avoid burnout. Working privately allows you to be more intentional with your time and your resources, staying focused on the things that will truly move you closer to your goals. As you begin to see the fruits of your labor, privacy also gives you the space to evaluate how best to present your work to the world. The best foundations aren't rushed and they aren't exposed before they are ready. The work that grows in privacy has the advantage of being fully realized before it is unveiled. When you are ready to share your vision with others, it will be clear, well developed, and impactful, because it has had the time and attention needed to reach its full potential. The strength of your foundation, built in privacy, will shine through in the quality of your work and the authenticity of your message. Privacy is not about hiding away or avoiding accountability. It is about creating the conditions that allow your vision to grow naturally without external interference. It is about protecting your time, your energy, and your creativity so that you can build something that is strong, lasting, and true to your purpose. Privacy allows you to focus on the process, to refine your craft, and to make steady progress without the pressure to prove yourself before you are ready. In a world that often demands instant results, there is a quiet power in choosing to build in privacy, knowing that the foundation you are laying today will create something far more enduring and impactful in the future. Avoiding distractions and comparisons is a critical discipline in the pursuit of meaningful success. In today's hyper-connected world, distractions are everywhere, constantly pulling our attention away from the work that matters most. Social media, news cycles, endless notifications, and even the noise of other people's opinions can flood our mental space, making it increasingly difficult to stay focused on our own goals. The temptation to compare ourselves to others only adds another layer of complication to the journey. We measure our progress against the highlight reels of others, and in doing so, we risk losing sight of our own path, becoming disoriented in the noise. The ability to resist these distractions and comparisons is what allows us to cultivate clarity, focus, and the kind of personal growth that leads to genuine, sustainable success. The reality is that distractions are designed to fragment our attention. They pull us in 1,000 different directions, often in ways that feel urgent or important in the moment, but in the long run, lead us away from our purpose. Every time we give in to a distraction, whether it's a social media scroll, a news update, or a seemingly innocent interruption, we lose precious time, mental energy, and focus. The more we allow ourselves to be pulled away from our goals, the harder it becomes to maintain the clarity needed to accomplish anything meaningful. This constant shifting of focus creates a sense of busyness, but not necessarily productivity. We may feel like we're doing a lot, but we aren't actually making progress on what truly matters. To achieve lasting success, we must learn to protect our time and attention, prioritizing what aligns with our long-term vision and cutting out the noise that doesn't serve our purpose. To avoid distractions, we must first understand their true nature. Distractions often masquerade as important, urgent, or necessary, but they frequently serve only to divert us from deeper work. Whether it's a constant barrage of messages, a calendar full of meetings, or the endless stream of content online, each distraction chips away at our mental bandwidth. When we allow ourselves to be pulled in too many directions, we lose the depth of focus that is required to make progress in our endeavors. Deep work, the kind that produces real results, requires sustained concentration and uninterrupted time. To protect this, we must become more intentional about where we place our attention and make conscious choices about what to engage with and when. This may mean setting boundaries with others, turning off notifications, or creating designated times for deep work that are free from interruptions. Equally are the comparisons we make to others, whether it's through social media, networking, or simply looking around at our peers. It's easy to fall into the trap of measuring our progress against the apparent success of others. Social media platforms, in particular, create an illusion of constant achievement and perfection, where everyone seems to be advancing faster, reaching higher, or living more fulfilled lives than we are. The problem with comparisons is that they often lead to feelings of inadequacy or frustration. We may feel that we're not moving fast enough, not doing enough, or that we're somehow falling behind. This sense of competition with others can erode our confidence and shift our focus away from what is truly important, our own growth and progress. In the process, we lose sight of our unique journey and the individual timing of our success. What we often forget is that what we see on the surface is only part of the story. There is no way of knowing the full depth of someone else's struggle, sacrifice, or the challenges they face. Comparing ourselves to others creates a false narrative, one that doesn't take into account the unique circumstances, resources, and timing that influence each person's path. Avoiding comparison starts with a mindset shift, recognizing that your journey is unique and that success is not a zero-sum game. There is room for everyone to achieve greatness in their own way and at their own pace. Each person's journey is influenced by different factors, timing, circumstances, opportunities, and personal abilities that are not immediately visible. When we focus on our own growth instead of measuring it against others, we free ourselves from unnecessary stress and judgment. We begin to appreciate the progress we've made, no matter how small, and realize that each step forward is significant in its own right. This perspective also allows us to be more supportive and less envious of others. When we stop comparing ourselves to others, we can celebrate their success as a source of inspiration, not competition. One of the most powerful ways to avoid distractions and comparisons is by fostering an environment that supports your focus and growth. This means being intentional about the people you surround yourself with, the media you consume, and the environments you create for your work. If you constantly find yourself comparing your journey to others, it may be time to reconsider the sources of influence in your life. You might need to take a break from social media or unfollow accounts that make you feel inadequate. Instead, you can curate your feeds and interactions to include content and people who inspire, educate, and uplift you, those who align with your values and aspirations. Similarly, if you find yourself distracted by a busy schedule, it may be necessary to create more space for focused work by saying no to commitments that don't align with your priorities. Focusing on your own path means setting clear intentions for what you want to achieve and regularly reminding yourself of your goals and values. It requires a commitment to discipline, to showing up consistently even when the results aren't immediate, and to protecting your time from anything that doesn't move you closer to your vision. It also involves developing the confidence to trust in your own process, to believe that your progress is not dependent on how quickly others are moving or how successful they appear to be. Your journey is yours alone, and it will unfold in its own time, at its own pace. When you embrace this truth, you are free to do the work without the burden of comparison or the weight of distractions. You can focus on creating your own version of success on your own terms with a sense of clarity, purpose, and peace. Impact through excellence is not just about achieving the highest standards in your work, but about creating a ripple effect that resonates beyond your immediate efforts. Excellence is the foundation upon which lasting influence is built. It's a commitment to the highest quality in everything you do, not for the sake of perfection or recognition, but because you know that excellence in its truest form has the power to inspire, uplift, and make a profound difference in the lives of others. When you dedicate yourself to excellence, you are not just raising the bar for yourself, you are setting an example for others, showing them what is possible when you pour your best effort into something. The pursuit of excellence is a journey, not a destination. And it is this continuous striving to do better that has the potential to create an impact far greater than you can initially imagine. Excellence is built on a foundation of consistency, discipline, and a deep respect for the craft you are involved in. Whether you're creating art, leading a business, or working in any other field, excellence is about refining your skills, honing your talents, and consistently putting in the effort to improve. It means not cutting corners, even when no one is watching, and striving to go above and beyond what is expected. When you commit to excellence, you don't settle for mediocrity, and you don't allow external circumstances or challenges to compromise your standards. Instead, you hold yourself accountable to the highest level of performance, not because it is easy, but because you understand the profound influence that your work can have on the world. The impact of excellence goes beyond the results that it produces. It's not just about the finished product, but the process, the values, and the dedication that shine through every step of the way. People can sense when something has been done with care, intention, and pride. They can feel the difference between work that has been rushed or done without thought and work that has been crafted with precision and passion. Excellence is magnetic. It attracts attention not because it is flashy or boastful, but because it reflects a deep commitment to quality and a desire to serve others in the best possible way. When people encounter excellence, they are inspired. It raises their own standards, challenges them to do better, and encourages them to pursue their own best efforts. Excellence is contagious. When you set a high standard for yourself, it encourages others to do the same. People around you will take notice of your work ethic, your attention to detail, and your commitment to quality. It raises the collective performance of teams, communities, and organizations. A single person's dedication to excellence can inspire an entire group to elevate their own contributions. Excellence has the ability to set a culture of growth and high expectations, where others feel motivated to push beyond their limits and produce work that is equally outstanding. This shared commitment to excellence creates a powerful force that drives success, innovation, and progress. Excellence also generates trust. When people know that you consistently deliver high-quality work, they begin to trust you and depend on you. This trust is a catalyst for deeper relationships, greater opportunities, and long-term success. Whether in business, personal relationships, or leadership, people want to work with those who are reliable and who consistently produce excellent results. Excellence creates a reputation that speaks for itself. It allows you to build a legacy of trust and respect, which in turn opens doors to new opportunities, partnerships, and collaborations. Another aspect of excellence is that it requires a mindset of continuous growth. It is never about being finished or arriving at perfection. Excellence is a lifelong pursuit, one that recognizes that there is always room for improvement and that each new challenge or setback is an opportunity for learning. This mindset of continual growth fuels creativity, innovation, and resilience. It keeps you moving forward, even when the journey is difficult or when the outcomes are not immediate. Those who are committed to excellence do not rest on their laurels. They constantly seek ways to refine their skills, broaden their knowledge, and push the boundaries of what they are capable of. In doing so, they stay ahead of the curve, remain relevant, and continue to make a meaningful impact over time. In a world that often values speed, convenience, and shortcuts, the pursuit of excellence stands as a powerful counterpoint. It requires patience, discipline, and a long-term perspective. But the rewards of excellence are far-reaching. When you dedicate yourself to excellence, you contribute to a culture of quality, integrity, and professionalism. You become a beacon for others, showing them that greatness is not about taking the easy route, but about committing to the work and persevering in the face of challenges. Excellence is not an act of ego, but of service. It is about giving the best of yourself to whatever you do, knowing that by doing so you can elevate others, inspire progress, and leave a lasting positive imprint on the world around you. True impact comes from the legacy of excellence you leave behind. It is the influence you have on others by setting an example of what is possible when we strive for greatness. Whether it's through the quality of your work, the standards you uphold, or the way you inspire those around you to reach higher, excellence has the power to create a ripple effect that extends far beyond your immediate circle. It is the quiet yet powerful force that transforms industries, communities, and individuals, creating a world where the pursuit of excellence becomes the norm, and the impact of that commitment is felt by all. The path to making a true and lasting impact is paved with a commitment to excellence. Excellence is not a destination, but a journey that requires discipline, focus, and an unwavering dedication to the craft you choose. It is about consistently putting forth your best effort, no matter the obstacles, no matter the distractions. When you choose to work with excellence, you don't just elevate your own standards, you inspire others to do the same. You create a culture where greatness is possible, and you lead by example, showing the world what is possible when you give your best. The impact of excellence is not always immediate, and it is rarely loud, but it is enduring. It creates a legacy that transcends time, a legacy of integrity, trust, and the quiet strength that comes from knowing you did your best every single day. So choose excellence not because it brings attention or applause, but because it is the foundation upon which you can build something that lasts, a legacy that touches lives, inspires greatness in others, and leaves a profound mark on the world. Remember, excellence is not about perfection, it's about persistent, passionate effort towards becoming the best version of yourself and offering the best to the world. And as you do so, you will create an impact that is far greater than you can ever imagine. Never underestimate the power of doing the work with excellence. It will speak for you when words cannot. The world needs your excellence now more than ever. So rise to the challenge and let your work make the difference it was meant to make.